Welcome back to the deep dive. It is Tuesday, January 27th, 2026.
And, if you're the kind of person who keeps a close eye on your calendar,
Right, if you got it all marked up in red ink.
then this is a big week. It's officially Data Privacy Week.
It is. The theme this year from the National Cybersecurity Alliance is take control of your data.
Which is a great theme. I mean, it sounds powerful.
It does. But I have to be honest, when I first heard it, my first feeling was just overwhelm.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, our digital footprint isn't a footprint anymore. It's a crater. It's
Right.
my watch, my car, my fridge, which I still don't get why it needs Wi-Fi.
It's creating what the industry calls a treasure trove of data.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right to feel overwhelmed because while the slogan tells you to take control, our mission today is to flip that around. We want to look at the organizations that are, holding that treasure. Because according to the stack of reports we've pulled, and this is fresh stuff, the 2026 ISAC State of Privacy Survey, some deep dives from the National Law Review, the people in charge of the data, they are really, really struggling.
It really feels like a perfect storm, doesn't it? When you read these sources together, you see shrinking budgets colliding with just exploding technology.
Specifically, generative AI.
Exactly. And all of that is happening inside a legal landscape in the U.S. that is still, well, it's a mess.
A mess is a very polite way to put it. It's a strategic nightmare.
So let's start with a really basic definition, because I think a lot of people, myself included sometimes, we use data security and data privacy interchangeably.
And it's probably the most common and maybe the most dangerous mistake you can make if you're running a business.
Right. So in the National Law Review, there was this amazing analogy. I think it was from a CIO named Alex Sharp.
That's the one. And it's just brilliant. He's using a spreadsheet to explain the difference.
Okay, so walk us through it.
So picture a standard Excel file, right? You've got your columns and you've got your rows.
Yeah.
The columns, that's your business data, credit card number, zip code, stuff like that. Data security is about protecting those columns.
So it's about the data itself.
Exactly. It's the CIA triad.
The CIA triad sounds very official.
It stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability, basically. Can we keep hackers out? Is the data right? Can we get to it when we need it? Security is like locking that spreadsheet in a digital vault.
Okay, so the vault's locked, it's secure, but that's not the whole story.
Not at all, because now you have to look at the rows. And the rows are people, individual human beings. That is privacy.
So privacy isn't just about the lock on the vault.
It's about appropriate use. That's the phrase. You could have that spreadsheet in the most secure server on earth. But if your company takes my health data and sells it to an advertiser without my consent,
The data was secure.
perfectly secure, but you just violated my privacy. Because security is about the data, but privacy is about the person.
And defining appropriate use in 2026 is harder than ever. I mean, Europe has the GDPR, the Brussels effect, one standard for everyone.
Right. But here in the U.S., we still don't have a single federal privacy law.
We have the patchwork. I saw that term over and over.
It's a patchwork of 54 different jurisdictions, the 50 states, D.C., the territories, and they all have their own little quirks. So if you're a national business, you're not playing by one rule book, you're trying to navigate 54.
That sounds just incredibly inefficient.
Yeah.
And expensive.
It is. Which brings us to the people whose job it is to manage all this. Because you'd think, right, more complexity, more data, you'd need bigger teams.
You would absolutely think that.
But the ISAC State of Privacy report for this year shows the exact opposite is happening.
Okay, so let's hit the stats, because these numbers they're pretty brutal.
They're staggering. So in 2025, the median privacy staff size was 8 people.
8 people, okay.
In 2026, it's down to 5.
Whoa, from 8 to 5 in 1 year?
In a single year. It's almost a 40% reduction in headcount.
So the workload is going up, but the team size is getting cut nearly in half.
And it gets even more extreme. The report talks about what they call the one-person army.
That sounds heroic, but also absolutely terrifying in a corporate context.
It's terrifying. 11% of organizations surveyed said they've only one full-time person dedicated to privacy.
Just one person. To track 54 jurisdictions and the new AI tools and customer requests.
All of it. It's a recipe for burnout. And the data shows that. Privacy pros are way more stressed now than they were 5 years ago.
And I'm guessing the number one stressor is, getting hacked.
You would think so. But it's not. The number one stressor is the rapid evolution of technology.
They just can't keep up.
They cannot keep up with how fast the tech is changing. They're drowning.
And all this while having their budgets cut.
The budget paradox.
Yeah.
It's incredible. 50% of them expect their privacy budgets to decrease this year. Only a quarter expect an increase.
So you're asking them to fight a bigger war with fewer soldiers and less ammo.
Exactly. And that makes hiring an expert, well, it's basically impossible. You're looking for a unicorn.
Which has to change how you hire people, right?
It does. We're seeing this fascinating shift. Employers are realizing they can't just look at certifications. Only 24% said a university degree was a key factor.
So what are they looking for instead?
Organizational fit and soft skills.
Ah.
Communication, flexibility. 59% said that was the priority.
That makes so much sense. If you're the only privacy person, you can't just be a lawyer. You have to be a diplomat.
You have to be able to talk to the engineers and marketing and the CEO and explain why they can't do something in a way that makes business sense.
But even with the best diplomat, things go wrong. And the report was really clear on the #1 cause of failure. And again, it wasn't what I thought.
It's never the sophisticated nation-state hackers, is it?
No, it's much more human.
51% said the top cause of failure is lack of training or poor training.
And that connects right back to what we said at the start.
The security versus privacy distinction. Yeah. 68% of the time, the training for those two things is separate. Yeah. And most people only get the security part.
So they know how to spot a phishing email.
Right. They know not to click a weird link, but they don't know that they shouldn't paste sensitive customer data into a public chatbot to, help them write a marketing email.
That's a privacy violation, not a security breach.
Exactly. No one got hacked. They just gave the data away because they didn't understand the rules of appropriate use.
Which is the perfect segue into the technology piece.
Yeah.
Because, let's be real, when we talk about the rapid evolution of technology in 2026, we're talking about generative AI.
We are. And Gen AI has just thrown a wrench into the entire definition of privacy.
Mm-hmm.
The National Law Review broke this down into input risk and output risk.
Okay, so input risk is what you just said, an employee feeding sensitive data into the machine.
Right. You feed proprietary code or customer lists into a public model to train it. And that data could, theoretically be regurgitated to a total stranger.
And the output risk, that's the black box problem, right?
This is where the lawyers start to get really nervous. Imagine an AI denies someone's insurance claim for asthma medication. The customer asks why.
And the company just says, the algorithm said so.
Pretty much. If you can't explain how the AI made the decision, you've got a massive privacy problem. Under GDPR and a lot of new U.S. laws, there's a right to explanation.
So if you can't explain it, you probably shouldn't be using it for those big decisions.
You really shouldn't. But there's another layer to this that I found really sobering. And that's about biometrics.
The 23andMe example?
Yeah. The point they made is so important. If your password gets stolen, you reset it. If your credit card number gets stolen, you cancel it and get a new one.
But you can't reset your DNA.
You can't change your DNA. It's immutable. And when a company like 23andMe, which holds that immutable data, runs into trouble.
The advice was pretty blunt.
It was. Get your data deleted. Do it now. Because you don't know who will own that data tomorrow.
It's the same problem with deepfakes, too. The law is trying to catch up, but it's always one step behind the tech.
Always. Which is why, if you're that one-person privacy army, you can't just rely on the law. You need a better system, an architectural fix.
This is the shift left idea from the Skyflow white paper.
Exactly. So most companies today use what are called point solutions. Think of them like Band-Aids.
Okay, a Band-Aid for every problem.
Right. Oh, no, we have credit cards. So you buy a credit card encryption tool. Oh, no, AI governance. So you buy another tool. Soon you have this integration sprawl, a dozen tools that don't talk to each other.
Which is a nightmare to manage.
It's impossible. Shifting left means you stop putting on Band-Aids and you build the privacy controls into the foundation. To the left on the project timeline.
You build a data privacy vault.
You build a foundational vault. And the magic of that is it decouples the policy from the code. So when a new law passes, you don't have to rewrite 10 different apps. You just update the one policy in the central vault.
That seems like the only way these small teams can possibly survive.
It's about leverage. And it's essential for using AI safely. The vault can sanitize the data before it ever gets to the language model.
So we've got the landscape, the people crisis, and an architectural solution. But none of this happens if the people at the top don't care.
This is the absolute make-or-break factor. The ISACA report showed a direct line between board support and privacy success.
When the board cares, budgets go up, confidence goes up.
But there was a really important nuance in there. It's about why the board cares.
Right. Is it just about compliance?
If the board's view is just keep us from getting fined, that's actually a danger zone.
Why? Isn't staying compliant the goal?
Compliance is the floor, not the ceiling. If that's all you care about, you're not building trust. And those compliance-only companies, the report shows they're actually less likely to adopt new tech effectively. They're too afraid. And they can't keep their talent.
Because nobody wants to just be a checkbox on a form.
Exactly. You want to work somewhere that believes in privacy by design, building it in from the start.
And the good news is that we are seeing more of that, especially with AI.
We are. 41% of those using AI for privacy say they always practice privacy by design. They're using the tech to help, not just to create new problems.
The National Cybersecurity Alliance calls this creating champions.
The champion model.
Yeah.
It's the idea that privacy isn't just for the lawyers. You need people in engineering and marketing everywhere who feel empowered to raise their hand and ask, hey, do we really need to collect that?
Because if that culture isn't there, no vault is going to save you.
Culture eats strategy for breakfast. Every time.
Okay, so let's bring this all together. It's Data Privacy Week 2026. The situation looks... oh, it looks tough.
It's a difficult spot, for sure. Smaller teams, smaller budgets, and technology that is just moving at light speed. But the path forward is actually pretty clear.
It seems like a three-legged stool. First, focus on your people. Hire for soft skills and train them on privacy, not just security.
Second, shift left on your tech. Build that foundational vault so you can stop playing whack-a-mole.
And third, get your board to see privacy as a strategic asset, not just a line item in the compliance budget.
Because in 2026, trust is a currency. It might be the most valuable one you have.
And for anyone listening who thinks, oh, we mess up, we'll just pay a fine, it's the cost of doing business.
Right, just move on.
Yeah. There's this one final factoid in our research that, it just stopped me in my tracks.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. This one's a doozy.
It's the Target data breach. We all remember it, right? It was huge news.
Huge. A total poster child for a cybersecurity disaster. That was back in 2013.
2013. Okay, so guess when the final legal case from that breach was finally settled?
You'd think, what, 2015? 2016, maybe?
2024.
Wow, no way.
2024.
11 years.
11 years of litigation. A privacy failure that happened in 2013 was still haunting that organization more than a decade later.
That really puts it all in perspective. A mistake you make today with some new AI tool could still be tying you up in court in the late 2030s.
It isn't just about getting through this week, it's about protecting the next decade of your business.
The long tail of a privacy failure is incredibly, incredibly long.
Well, on that slightly terrifying note, we do encourage you to be a champion for privacy this week. Look at the resources out there, arm yourself with some of these stats. And if you know a privacy professional,
buy them a coffee.
Or maybe something stronger.
Make it a double espresso. They definitely need it.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.